Hey, what's up, guys and gals? It's your old friend, Mr. Moose, back with another edition of Transport Fever. Well, actually, this is our first recorded edition of Transport Fever. We've done a little bit in the live streams, but we haven't actually recorded a video, so welcome to Transport Fever. Now, if you haven't seen any archives of Transport Fever up on the channel, it's because I ran into some copyright issues. They had like a couple of songs in there. I was using the in-game music, and a couple of the songs actually got flagged, so I had to turn those off because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. So but we've only done 3 episodes of the campaign so far for the US. There are 2 campaigns in the game. There's one for the US and one for Europe. We started out on the US campaign. When we started, the first section was connecting. It was really all about just laying train tracks, and it was connecting a train to the west, basically. It was pretty kind of cool, the storyline in it. And then once we finished that, the second series was Pittsburgh, and it was all about electrifying the nation. Involved a storyline around Westinghouse and Tesla. That was kind of cool. Then we did the Panama Canal Tuesday night, which was a very long just hauling all the debris from the digging of the canal via train to build a couple of dams and just distribute all the earth. It was kind of I wasn't really in love with that one. But now we bring up to Motor City Industries or Motor Industries. So that is where we're at. We're at the 4th stage of the campaign. And I got to say, I'm having fun playing the campaign versus doing free game where I just go out and get a map and start going at it. So we're going to do a little bit of the campaign. Then we'll switch over and do a little free game and mix it up and have a little bit of fun. But welcome to Transport Fever. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Industry is booming around the Great Lakes. Food for the entire nation is produced in the areas surrounding Chicago, and the automobile industry is growing in Detroit. The automobile is opening up new possibilities for transportation. Trucks can deliver large quantities of goods to the most remote corners. The automobile is still the exclusive pleasure of the affluent, but it could soon become a mass-produced commodity and revolutionize the entire transport industry.
All right, so a little bit of dialogue as we go through here. We'll load up the this campaign, and we'll get going. And as we play along, I'll go through some of the changes and some of the things that are different in Transport Fever versus Train Fever. Overall, I'm really excited about the game, having a blast playing it. It's one that I can't really put down or drag myself away from. So I'm pretty excited, having a great time with it.
It is the year 1909, and there's not much to complain about here in the Midwest. There's a spirit of optimism. Completely new production methods are opening up new possibilities and business opportunities. A stake in the automobile industry. Now that would be an interesting investment. Our friend William Durant is planning something big, and we could get on board. We still lack the necessary capital, but in just a couple of years, we will also be profiting from the auto business.
All right, so this just gives you a synopsis of what's going on, and then we'll actually start the mission.
The automobile business is the market of the future. We should invest in it. But first, we're going to need a tidy sum of seed capital. This is easiest earned satisfying the most mundane of human needs, food and drink. The people are hungry for meat, and the transport of animals for slaughter is lucrative, so long as this bloody business doesn't give you the heebie-jeebies. Nowhere on earth is more meat prepared than in the Union stockyards of Chicago. The pigs enter at the front, and the cans exit at the back. A model example of rationality.
All right, so we have our first stage of this mission, which is basically we need to deliver pigs from the farms over to the slaughterhouse. So we've got log stock deliveries to the Chicago food processing plant, which we click on, it'll bring that up for us. And then we have the 2 farms that we need to go get the deliveries from. So we got to get 200 units transferred, 100 from each farm. All right, so seems easy enough, right? Let's get a general overview of the map and see. This is like the first thing you need to do is make sure you understand what is on the map, what resources are available. That way you can kind of pre-plan what you're going to do. So I see that we have 3 cities here. We have Detroit, Chicago, Indianapolis. And then as far as resources on the map, we've got a farm here, food processing place here, food here. So these need to go, the 2 farms need to connect to that. We've got some sort of goods up here, which is a distillery. which I have no idea what you need to use to make the distillery work. It looks like nothing because it should say something under requirements. This must be some sort of mission or something that's going to pop up in there. Let's see. Over here, I see we have crude oil over here, and we have a refinery here. This, you take the crude oil, and that makes fuel. And then here we have a quarry, and we have a construction materials plant, which the quarry pulls stone. And you can either use stone or slag to make construction materials. And then we have a place to take construction materials over here, which is the Indianapolis racetrack. So they must be going to build the Indianapolis racetrack during this. All right, so those are our resources that are on the map. So right off the bat, I can see that in order to make money here, we're going to do the connection of the lines here, but we can also get some trucking lines pulling crude down to here to make fuel. We can get a truck pulling down here to make construction materials. All of this can be transferred into the cities, and we can make money by transferring everything. Now, one thing that's different about transport fever versus train fever is pretty much everything has to be transported. In train fever, a facility that was this close to this city, once it started cooking, a lot of times the goods would just transfer right out of it into the city. And with this, you pretty much have to transport everything either by rail or truck into the city. So it's a little bit different in that aspect. Goods are also different in the game. Whereas in the previous, in Train Fever, if regardless of what you manufactured, it was always called a good, right? So if I was over here and I refined some oil here, the oil would be refined into a good, and that good would be transferred to a city, and a city only required so many goods, like 50 goods. So if you had in Train Fever, if you had this kind of setup here, this could supply 50 goods to this city, and this could supply 50 goods to that city, and that would basically fulfill your needs. It's not like that in this. This is a bit different. This, if we click on the name of the city, we see we have a breakout that gives us the population, but there's also two districts in here. You have a shopping district and an industrial district or jobs district. And each of those facilities or each of those districts needs different things to grow. So in the shopping facility, it's tools, food, and goods. In the jobs or industrial area, it's construction materials, machines, and fuel. So there's more than just goods, and as you can see, there's quite a bit more of them. So you can supply a lot more stuff to the cities. There's a lot more opportunities for you to transfer and transit things around, and of course you can do your move people around the city with buses and things of that sort. So there's a lot of things that you can do, a lot more involved in this game versus Train Fever. So let's go ahead and get started, get building. We've got a farm there and a farm there and a facility here to make the food. Once it's made, we'll need to transfer it into the cities, which we're going to have to hit these outlying cities as well. So that just is more money in our pocket. So I could do a truck line to get this going, but I think I'm just going to go and start laying down the foundations for a rail line and get that going. So right in this area right here, I'm thinking we can put in a train station. So let's go ahead and go to our train tool. And things have changed a little bit as far as where the menu is. It's down here instead of being on the side. And a lot of things have changed as far as what you can do with the train stations. One of the coolest things they've done in the game is when you change a train station, like if you want to upgrade a train station, you don't have to destroy it anymore. You can just upgrade it from wherever you placed it, which is kind of neat. But the other thing is when you get ready to place a train station, make sure you check all the information down here to verify that it's the way you want it. Like this one's automatically got the catenary up. I don't want electric. I just want standard train stations. I want 2 tracks on this one because I am going to run a couple of things through here. Now placement on this, you need to make sure you watch your placement on here. Notice how this facility turns gray when I put something down. If I put it over here, it's not gray, but it is gray here. That is the catchment area for the train station. Each element that you put down has a catchment area. It's a distance that it will actually affect the buildings and things around it. So like if I placed it over here on a street, you'll notice how much part of the city will light up and turn gray. That is the buildings that are affected by that train station. So if this were a passenger line that I was putting in, all of the houses that are turned gray, the people would walk to the train station from there. Well, it's the same thing with goods. If I place it here, that food processor will automatically send items to that train station without having to be transported. Whereas if it's over here, I'm going to have a truck or something move the goods over there. So you want to make sure that you're placing it where it's turning it gray, and that way you can get the items in there. Now I'm putting mine a little bit further away because I want to be able to make this turn. So I'm going to push it right about in this area here. Let's put it right there. That looks pretty good. So we'll drop that down, and that gets us our first. Oh, I did that wrong. I put down a residential. I put down a passenger line. Mistakes are made. All right, let's try this again. You've got to go in here and you've got to check mark between passenger or cargo. I forgot to do that. Stupid me. A waste of 300,000, I guess that was. All right, so let's go ahead and get this placed into a slot. Come on, get in here and make sure that is gray. It is. And no electric, nothing else. There we go. All right. That is cargo. That is a good thing. All right, so we're going to go ahead and turn and head up here to the farm. We're going to lay some track. And again, I want to double check that catenary is not on because I don't want to pay for electric when I'm not using it. All right, 75 is what we want to be heading out at. I'm going to double that track up. And the first thing I'm going to do is eventually I'm going to double this whole thing up. But for right now, I just want to go ahead and get in a crossover here, get a diamond intersection put in so that I go ahead and get it done right in the beginning. And that way I put these in first because I don't want to lay the track down and then fight it and struggle to get it put in if I didn't place something right. So I like to go ahead and get these put in first. So I have my diamond intersection so I can cross things over at the station if need be. But if I wait to do that down the line, they may not go in so easily. So I like to do them in the beginning and get that done. And now I can go ahead and run my track. And I'm going to try to keep as good of a speed up as possible. 75 is great. And then we'll double this up next to it. And then we'll start coming on up here, heading towards the farm. Watching my elevation, making sure that I'm not like digging into the ground and costing myself extra funds. One of the cool things they did to this is these roads will snap, or the rails will snap parallel to the road if you so want it to do it. It's also can be a hassle when you're doing things because it's constantly wanting to snap next to the road. But if you're trying to follow the contour of a road, it is kind of neat that they did that. I'm going to pull that up there just a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in my depot right over in here. And to do that, I'm going to grab from this side of the track and I'm just going to come around and make a siding here. Now, I want my train to be able to go to the depot from this rail, but I'd also like it to be able to go from this rail as well. And it's really cool now you can do that. You couldn't do this in the previous version of this. It was it just never would work. You couldn't cross track. You couldn't do an outside turn really well in Train Fever, but you can do all this now. It's really nice. They've done a really good job with enhancing the rail system in the game. So we'll just pull this now out straight like so. And then we'll just pull in that like so. And now I've got a place out here where I can just go ahead and throw a depot down. And that is where our trains come from. So we'll drop that down. And they've done a real nice job too of remodeling the depot. So instead of being only like this long, it actually looks like you could actually put an engine in there. So that's kind of nice. All right, and now we can just run this track all the way up here to where the farm's going to be. and we'll get it plopped down. And we'll start making our farm work. All right, I'm going to put that right there. And then I'm going to come on up here to the farm and we'll place our train station up here. And we'll have our first part of this done. So as far as the station I'm going to put on this end, I really don't need this type of station where it's a pass-through station because this is the end of the line. So I'm going to put a terminal down. So we'll grab a terminal and verify that it's a freight station so I don't make that stupid mistake again. I'll rotate this around using my M and my N key. Now, notice that's kind of large turns that it makes. If you hold the shift key down, you can actually fine-tune that turn and get it more to your liking. And again, I just want to place this down and making sure that the farm turns gray. That means I don't have to have any trucks transferring anything to the farm. It's going to automatically catch it right there. I go ahead and place that into place. That's good. And now I just have to get my rail all the way up to that guy. Let's just zoom in to make sure I get the connection right. Here we go. 67,000 to make that work. And that part is done. So that station and that station are ready to go. I'm going to go to my line manager and I'm going to create a new line. And that line is going to connect this farm to this processing facility. And I am going to call this Chicago. Still got to back that up. Chicago. And I use a couple of different abbreviations when I do this. Usually if I'm doing a passenger rail, I'll use 2 double forward slashes as to denote that it's a passenger line. It's just a shorthand I do. If I'm doing a truck line or a transit line that's on the road, I usually use a couple of equal signs that sort of looks like it's a truck line, you know. For freight, I use 2 straight lines. And so it's the first designator lets me know what the origin city is, which is Chicago. And I'm not going anywhere but in Chicago. So I'm just going to go ahead and describe what this is. And this is farm to processor. So farm to pros. Something like that. Some sort of little shorthand that lets me know what this line does. I could change names of the vehicles and stuff that are on it and all that other stuff down the road. But that's just enough. And so we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and make a train. I'm going to buy myself a train. And this train is going to be on the cheap. I'm going to try to do it as cheap as possible. I don't want it to cost me a ton of money, but I'm going to go ahead and get a nice engine on it. We're going to use the Baldwin. And then we're going to load it up with some cars. Now it's going to be hauling grain and livestock because the farm makes grain and it makes livestock as well. So even though the thing says move the pigs, I'm going to be moving both. So this train's going to have that ability to move both. And to do so, I have to put some box cars on and some gondolas. Now the gondolas hold coal, iron, stone, grain, slag. And the box cars, they hold livestock, plastics, machines, tools, food, goods. So I'm going to go and add in couple of grain carts, or I'm going to do 4 grain carts. Now it's not going to need this much right off the bat, and it's going to cost me a little bit in my yearly fees, but it will grow in and it will start using all of these. So I'm going to go ahead and put 4 of each on here. Now in Train Fever, I would have to specify what each one of these was hauling before I set it out. Like if I wanted this one to haul grain, I would have to specify that it hauled grain. But in the new version, you'll notice configuration says automatic. You can still assign things, which comes in handy if you've got a couple of things going to one location and you don't want to pick the wrong thing up. But in this case, you pretty much can just leave it on automatic and you'll be all right. You'll find there are some occasions where you do still need to specifically say, this truck is going to carry this good and this truck is going to carry this good. But for our general purposes, we're just going to have one big train and we're going to set it on the line for Chicago farm production. And we're going to get it rolling out so that we can go ahead and establish this line from here to here, letting this guy know that he needs food and letting this guy know that he needs to start producing, which he's already starting to produce. And he'll get that stuff out here to the train station, and we'll start getting production done. Meanwhile, we need to give the goods that are produced here a way to get over to the city, because this is not close enough. So we have to look at our city, figure out where the shopping district is, which is the blue right here. That is what takes our food. So we got to figure out a way to put in a bus station, or not a bus station, but a truck stop that will allow people to get their food. So it would be really expensive to try to drop it in one of these places, which ultimately would be great to knock out a city block and put it right in the center of everything. But that's just going to cost too much money, because you look at this building, if we went into demolition, that building's $600K, that one's $500K, 150. I mean, we're looking at over $1 million, or almost $2 million to get rid of that little area to put a bus terminal in. So it can be quite expensive if you were going to try to just drop one straight in. So if we go over here and select cargo, and we go in for a truck station, and we were to try to put it in that block, just for giggles, what's it going to cost? Let's see, to put it right. Oops, hit the wrong button. Just to put it right here would cost us $2 million. 2.1 million, 2.2 million, something like that. That's really expensive. We don't want to do that. Whereas if we put it over here and put it right here at the street, it would cost us $711,000. If we put it right here and just destroy one building, it would only cost us $300K. So quite a bit of difference. Now, again, the better location you can get, the better your catchment is on the city. Whereas like here, I can catch pretty much the entire industrial area and shopping district. Over here, I'm probably only going to catch, 2/3 of the area if I put it over here. But I can come in here and not cost me nearly as much money if I put it over in this area. So let's look at this area and see if there's a place where we can knock one building out in order to get in here and catch everything, or to catch a lot of it. And I'm thinking if we come with a street tool right through here, we probably could take out, that's going to take out 3 buildings there if we do it. Can we get in and just take out that building? Nope, can't do that. That building's probably pretty expensive. It is. That's not going to work. Let's do a smaller road, a smaller street or whatever. Let's see if we come in through here. That takes out 2 buildings. That's not our option. What about over here? Is there one building we can take out? Like right here. Take those 2 buildings out. Or we could go over here and put it in. Let's see if we can grab and take out that house. Just the house. That works. See, that only costs us $204,000 right there. I like that. So we're going to take out that one house. One building will be removed, $200,000. Puts us a little road in here, and then we can put the bus station or the truck stop right here. And again, the catchment's not going to be as great right here, but it will work for us. So let's go ahead and rotate this around and get it in place before the game starts to put stuff in here. So let's put it right here. And I could, hate when I do that. Hate that. The B key is now the shortcut for demolition. And I hit it all the time and it irritates me. Alright, so there's our truck stop. And again, if we just look, it didn't take nearly as much of the city. It takes half of it. But we'll be able to come put another one over on this side and we'll get even more of the city caught. You know what? Let's go ahead and upgrade that road. Make it a little bit faster. Which we can do that by coming here. And we want to... This upgrade segment wise? Let's see. I think if I come here, I can upgrade this road. Upgrade tool. Let me see. No tram. I don't have any tram on it. I don't want any tram on it. I just want to upgrade it. I gotta go back and read on how to upgrade. Is this it? There we go. There we go. Got it upgraded. Alright, so that is a little bit wider highway or city road. And it'll get us a little bit faster in. Then we got this little catastrophe right here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this residential building. And we'll tie these two roads together. So that is tied into that. And I want to tie this. Oh, I messed that up. I want to tie this. Gosh, it's nice when everything clips right where you want it to clip. Alright, let's get that to here. And connect that to there. And that to there. It's nasty looking, right? I know. And that just gives us a shorter route to get to the train, to the truck area. And then we'll put another truck area right here, making sure that that's goods. There we go. I'm going to place this right here. And that will be our truck stop there. And if we make a line, that will be our truck stop for there. All right, so we got 8 grain right now being delivered and 8 livestock. So that's going to give us a couple $100,000 probably. 186,000. So it's not paying the bills, but it will build faster and faster the more that we get going here. So let's go ahead and make this line between here and here so that the goods being produced here have a place to get out and start making money. So we'll create that line. And we'll move the train up here. I'll zoom out a little bit so it's not so loud. We'll go ahead and connect this with this. Let's go ahead and label this. And again, we're... I wish that would auto-delete. Chicago. Again, this is a road line. And this is just going to be food delivery. You know. I'm just going to call it Food 1. I might add a second food delivery in here to this side over here. So we'll just call that food delivery. And we'll go ahead and pop down a depot so that we can get some trucks and go there. And I'm going to put the trucks a little bit over on this direction. I'll put my depot right around in here so that it's not right in the city. And I can use it for other things. Let's rotate that around and drop a depot right here. We'll go in, we'll buy a couple of trucks, maybe 3 or 4. Usually food takes a lot of vehicles, so we'll go ahead and put that on our food line and we'll get that going. And the more we can move, the more demand we'll have and the more things will be good for us. Alright, so that's our first bit of farm done. We still got to get this farm up here going. Now, this bit of farm up here, we're going to do a little bit differently. I'm also going to do this by train, but I'm not going to run the train station right to the farm. I'm going to bring the train station out here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my train station. And I'm going to get rid of those trucks because they were really loud and noisy. This time I'm going to do a regular train station. I'm going to rotate it around. And I'm going to place it right about here. And I'm not going to worry about catchment because I'm going to have to truck the goods down to the train station. So we'll go ahead and place it right there. That's good enough for us. And then we're going to put a couple of truck stops in. And we'll truck the goods to it. So we'll come up here to the farm. Now one thing I like to do with placing my truck stops is I try to get them as far away from the farm as possible, or whatever I'm catching. I try to get them as far away as possible. Shortens up the distance that the trucks have to run, right? So this particular truck stop, as long as it's turning that farm gray, the goods are automatically going to be delivered to it. So they're not going to be delivered here, but they will be delivered here. So I'm going to place it right there. That's good. Again, that's going to shorten up the distance that my vehicles have to travel between truck stops, and it's going to increase the deliveries I get, or shorten up the delivery time. And I can do the same thing with this particular facility here. I can rotate these around, and I can find, as long as that train station is turning gray, I'm hitting the catchment on it, and I can shorten up the distance that the trucks have to travel just to get there. I mean, look at that. That's if I had it way over here, that's on double the amount of time that they would have to go as if I put it right here. So just shortening up that as much as possible. Yeah, that's going to work right there. I mean, that's a very little distance they have to go, and it's sort of silly, but at the same time, hey, it's the way the game works, so play the game to your advantage. Alright, so this line is going to be this station to this station. Almost ridiculous how short of a jump they have to go. And we'll go ahead and label this. And we're still in Chicago, so we'll delete everything out. We'll go Chicago Road, and this is going to be Farm 2 or Farm 2 Station. And we can even make it Farm 2 so that we know exactly what location is. But Farm 2 to Station. Or a lot of times I will, instead of saying Station, I'll just say Trans. Or for transfer or something like that. And we will go ahead and set up, now that the line is set up, let's go over here to the depot, grab a couple of vehicles out of it, and we'll get ourselves, I don't know, 4 out of here. 3, 4. And we will set all of those on the farm so that we can get goods moving. Now again, I didn't have to specify what they're hauling because the game automatically will detect what they're picking up and putting down. So that will start getting going. And we'll go ahead and lay our train track back to our station, and we'll hook this facility to that facility, and we can start working it out. So let's go ahead and grab our rail. And again, I'm going to come out a short distance with some track. I'm going to go ahead and put a diamond in, just so I have my diamond intersection. And the other thing I like to do with my diamond intersections is make sure you don't start them right here at the platform. Bring them out just a little bit. That'll allow you to put some signals in. Whereas if you start them too close, you won't be able to put any signal devices in. Alright, so that one's there. And then do this one on this side. There we go. And now I can go ahead and get out of here with a nice gradual turn. Trying to hit that magic 75 number. Oh, there we go. There's 75. I'm not going to worry about the inside track right now. I'm just going to keep making that turn. Let's get out of this so I can see what's going on. There's my farm up here, so I can just bring this on around, make it a nice sweeping gradual turn. And it needs to actually come back around here a little bit. And then I can straighten up and run the track all the way up to the farm. Let's see. Get them out right there. That looks good to me. All right. There we go. Tie all that in. Make sure I'm not digging in anywhere and just you're running the price up. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's make sure I hook that to the right track. I messed this up. That's all right. I can fix this. I meant to double this up and put 2 rails in, but I only got 1. I can fix that later on down the road because upgrades are so much simpler in this than they were in the other. All right, so we got our train. It's rolling up here. It's doing its thing. It's good. Now, I could throw another train on here and cost myself a whole lot of money, but I only got $2 million left. So what I want to do is I want to add this train station onto that train line and just have my train come from that farm down to here, drop that off, come up here and pick this up. And when I do that, that's going to give the farm more time to produce things and have a full load on the train versus a half a load. So, which means I'll make more money on the train. And so it'll come up here, it'll pick up a full load, drop it off, go pick up a full load, drop it off, and I'll make more money that way than I would if I added a second train in. So I just need to go into my line manager, and again I'll come back to my train line that I'm using. I'll click on it so it comes up, and I'm going to add a station in. Now I went from Chicago siding here to Chicago, and I want to add this station in after Chicago. So I will say add a station, click on Chicago, I'll add that location in. That will come back up here, and then I need to have it come back to Chicago, and that will complete it, and then it will return itself back up here to the top, and all will be good. So that train now will fill up here. Once it gets up here, it will fill up with whatever is here, and then it will make its way back down. So it's got 18 livestock, 19 grain, so a total of 37 units. Now this train can hold 24 or 48 livestock and 24 grain. So it's not completely full, but the next time it comes up here, because it's going to have twice as long for it to pull all this up, the next time it comes up here, it will fill completely up with everything, hopefully, and that means we'll make bigger profit when it comes in and drops everything off. All right, so what's happening up here? This facility has not started producing yet, and it probably will not until the train comes up here and at least runs through one time, because a lot of times it does have to activate the track once for it to get started. But that's all right. We'll get that rolling. All right, so in the meantime, let's check out what our train is doing. It's choo-chooing. So I'll show you a couple other things that are unique to Train Fever. You all know that in Train Fever you could do this, right? You could come down here, track the train, follow it along, and see what it was doing. Now in Transport Fever, you have a little video camera icon here, and if you hit that, it will enter into the cockpit supposedly, and you can ride the front of the train, and you just see what's going on and get that front view, which is pretty neat. Kind of dig that. And you just ride along on the train and take in the scenery if you so choose to do. Now, we did that quite a bit in the live stream because I'm trying to play Transport Fever at a slower pace. Train Fever, I'd knock everything up to 4x and I'd try to make as much as possible. All right, our farm is starting to produce. It's now up 4 units. We've already got 1 unit sitting here to be transferred to here. So a truck is going to get here. Now, the other thing I want to do, I want to make sure all of my trucks are filling completely up when they go to grab things. See, this one's rolling. It's only got 1 thing on it. So I want to go over to my line manager again. I'm going to bring up each of my road lines. And I want to come in here. And so like for this one, which is my food delivery, it's taking everything to the Chicago Exchange from the lower exchange. So it's picking up here and it's dropping off here. When it's picking up, I want it to wait. I want it to sit there and completely fill up. So at the lower Chicago, I'm going to click here and say full load any. Or I could do full load all. But I'm going to do full load any. And I'm going to make sure that it fills the truck up and gets, you know, a complete load, so it's making more money. The other thing is it's saving me a little bit of money, because when a vehicle's not running on the road, it has a lower maintenance cost. So anytime that it's sitting still and not moving, it's not costing me as much money. I'm going to do the same thing up here at the farm. I'm going to go ahead and select that line. And Upper Chicago and the Chicago Annex here. Upper Chicago is where we're picking up at. So I'm just going to tell it when it comes to Upper Chicago, make sure you load any. And that way it will get a full load before it goes back out. But Chicago Food's already making money. It's out of the red. It's into the green. And this down here, now that food is actually producing, this will eventually start to make money as well. It's only 11K in a hole. And it will start making money with each load it drops off. Especially once we get all the vehicles completely full and drop off. Let's see, this one's only got 2 units of grain on it. We'll drop it off here. And it made 1.6K. But it'll start whittling away at that 10K. If you notice, our goods are already sitting over here at the station. So that transfer from here to here takes place instantaneous and moves it from this station over to there. So again, I didn't have to put this right up here next to it. I put it way over here, shortened up the amount of transfer that these guys have to go, because they move really slow, right? So you want to get that short a driving distance as absolutely possible for you to make money on that. So our train is on its way, and it is empty now. It'll take a couple of years for it to make money, but that's all right. Once we get this thing rolling out, it'll start making money each year. And then we can look at adding more to it, more lines. We are going to have to get another train added pretty quick, because I want to extend this line now into Indianapolis. Because we want to have a freight line that runs from this terminal here up to Indianapolis, dropping food off in Indy. At the same time, I also want to do the same thing over here in Detroit. We also need to start establishing some runs up here for freight for these two facilities as well, so that we can go ahead and start making money on these. So while we're these guys are just sitting here camped out. Choo-choo. Let's see, which one is this? He's got 4 of 6 livestock. He needs 1 more to go. The rest of the guys are getting impatient. Let's see. Let's get him to go ahead and roll, because they don't have the livestock coming in fast enough. And there's other goods that were sitting up there that could have been loaded up. See, this one's got 4 of 6 right now. And I want it to get on the train, so I'm going to let that one go as well. Early on, some of this stuff has to have a little micromanaging. Ooh, I don't know if I'd missed the train. Bummer. So the train only got 2 livestock and 4 grain on it in that run. But if we go across here and we look at what's happening with this farm over here now, there's 15 livestock here and 20 grain. So we'll probably fill up all the grain. And we'll come halfway on the livestock, but we'll be doing pretty good now. That train out of there is going to make some money. That's going to be a pretty profitable run for that train. Is it going to be enough to make a full profit for the year? Probably not. But it's going to be pretty good. Let's see. We're in 1912 right now. By the end of 1913, we'll probably be making money on this train, because this will probably fill up to about the same capacity as this one does. We're in July right now. It will probably take to the end of the year for that train to get back up here. So it will grab this run and take it down there and drop it off. And it will probably be profitable at that point for that year, not, overall. But for that year, it'll probably be profitable. And we'll be doing a lot better. Our Farm 2 transfer is costing a little bit of money now because we're not moving goods constantly. But eventually this will all pay off for us. So Food 1 right now is my only profitable line. What is he waiting on? 5 of 6 grain. One more grain is what he needs. What is sitting on the dock here? We only have 2 livestock sitting there. I almost want to keep these trucks moving for right now. There he goes. So he picked up his 3 livestock. But he's going to have to wait for 3 more. Alright, I'm going to let him be. Alright, so at this point all that is moving. This is moving. Let's go ahead and put a line here of trucks moving stone from here to here, and then we can truck some finished construction goods over there. Let's go ahead and same thing, let's get a truck station, and we'll come up here to the quarry, rotate that around, and we'll find the closest place that we can slap this, or the furthest place away that we can slap this and still have a capture on it. That works there. And then we'll come down here and do the same thing close to the quarry so that we can lessen the amount of travel that we have to go. All right, so it's not capturing there, it's capturing... Oh, it was capturing there. I missed where it changed over. There it is. It changes right there. So we'll go ahead and drop that in there. And we'll go into our line manager, create a new line. And we're going from here to here. And this is Indianapolis East and Indianapolis North. So we'll go ahead and label that Indy. So Indianapolis, and this is a road line. And this is stone to const, because this is construction. And again, you can make up your own shorthand. I just make up my own. That line is complete. And let's go ahead over here by Indy and put a depot in so that we can get some trucks rolling. And I mean, I could slap them right there, but I'm thinking if I put a depot over here close to Indy, that will handle my bus service for Indianapolis as well as the freight over in here. And I can do the same thing over here in Detroit. I can put one right around in here, and it can handle the bus service for Detroit as well as the trucks going over to the oil stuff. So let's put this. Let's put it right about in here. Not going to kill me to have it that far. All right, so we need a couple of road vehicles. Let's get 3, 2, 3. And we'll put those on our Indy line, stone to construction. Nice. So those will get rolling. And then the next thing we need to do is we have a line from here over to here by the speedway to deliver the construction materials once they are made. So we'll come back over here and we'll grab ourselves another truck stop. We'll come over here. We'll find the closest area to where we can put this, and it still catches that speedway, which I doubt is going to be on this road. It's probably going to be on this one. There it is, right there. Looks like maybe right there works. All right, so there's a catchment for that. That looks good. And we'll go ahead and make that line up real quick, and we'll put some trucks on that as well so they can start moving. So let's go ahead and drop that off. And again, eventually I'll set those stone trucks up where they do the same thing, where they fill all the way up when they get up there, and get that line established as well. For now, line manager, this guy to this guy, and this will be Indy. And then we'll say const, because it's construction materials. And we'll call this speed since it's going to the speedway. All right, so that is that. A couple more trucks. Let's see, we got 3 moving stones, so we need at least 2 moving that. We'll start with 2 because 3, they're going to be sitting for a while because it's going to take a while to get the stone moving. So let's just do 2 for now. Actually, let's get the facilities rolling first. Let's get the stone moving, and then we'll come back in there and put those in. All right, so where's our train at? Our train is coming back. Our train is loaded. 25 cattle, or 25 livestock, 38 grain. That's a good load. Let's look at where we're at with that line for the month. That particular train is 200 and... looks like it's about 250,000 in the hole. This could go to profit as soon as that train drops off. Of course, we're now in the beginning of 1913. So yeah, we lost money last month or last year on it. But this could be the swing. This could be where it starts to make profit. And it is poof, 732,000. So yeah, now we're in the green on this line, 370,000. All right, that's good news. And then if we look up here on this end, 16 and 16. So this could be a good year for that line. That could actually start making profit now. Sweet. Which means as we build a little bit more profit up, then we can think about expanding the line into Indianapolis and making some money there. Now, I could truck some stuff into Indy from this station if I wanted to. But what I'd rather do is build up a little bit more money. I could take out a loan and be able to do more. But I think right now I just want to let it run a little bit, let it establish itself. I got to move this stuff in the first place. But eventually I do want to get the freight line going into Indy and making that money that way. So we'll ride a little bit here. Choo-choo. There's our truck depot over there. Now the one thing about this camera is you can't really look left or right. It's a static cam stuck on the front of this. And right now, it's barren. I could put some trees along the way, so there'll be a little bit better scenery. But as we build this line out, it'll look pretty cool. One thing I've started to notice with this version is the campaigns are pretty long. They take a pretty good time to do the campaigns. The Panama Canal took me 4 hours, I think, to do. 3 hours, something like that. 3-4 hours to actually do. It's pretty long, and there was quite a bit to it. The Pittsburgh took a good 5 hours to do it. So the campaigns aren't short. Each one of them is pretty lengthy. I don't know how many are in the campaign, in the whole series, but they are lengthy. Alright, so here's our drop off or our refill. 22 and 22. So that's going to be pretty... It's not going to be 700. It's going to be more around 500,000. But that's not bad. It's May, so that means we're going to finish this year up in the green instead of in the red. As it makes its turn. Our trucks are still not keeping up with... or our farm's not keeping up with the trucks here. I could probably scale a truck or two off of this because they are definitely not staying busy. So 4 trucks is too much for this little line. So let's go ahead and depot that one. Well, you can't depot that one. I'll send both of these. Let's see. I should be able to reverse this one. He's still not going to reverse out. Alright, I'll depot this one. And I'll depot this one. Once those two guys get out of the way, they can go be sold off. And they won't cost as much money. Or... do I dare build a truck route going into Indy? I really don't want to. That's just... the profit on that is not going to exist because that is such a long run. I just bought too many trucks right off the bat. How is our food run in the city doing? That's the big question. I could reassign those trucks to food 1. Food 1 is making money. Are we having a surplus build up here at the shipping dock, though, is the question. Or not. So, I just don't need those 2 trucks right now. I bought too many. So, we'll return those 2 trucks to the depot, and then we'll sell them off. And make some money that back. Ah, it's killing me. I hate to see them just sitting there not doing anything. Alright, here we come. Rolling back into the station here. Alright, let's look at how much money we get. And our payoff is... 373. My money was way off on that one. Alright, but if we look at our ledger, we're actually making money this year. We're 400k in the bonus this year. So we're actually profitable. Which is good news. Let's look at that line. It's not... It takes a lot of operating costs to go up and down. So we actually are going to lose money at the end of the year. Because by the time it drives all the way up here, grabs the load and brings it down, we're still going to lose a little bit of money. But we're getting closer to being profitable. Let's put it that way. Alright. Ooh, I could assign these 2 vehicles. I don't want to do that. This guy still hasn't moved. Just killing me. You're just killing me, man. You're killing me. Alright, you're gonna go ahead and go. I'm gonna let you roll. Because I want to get rid of those other 2 trucks. They're just sitting there costing me money. Look at all that that's sitting there accumulating in the time that he sat there waiting on livestock. That's the downfall of it. That truck is hauling livestock and he was sitting there waiting for 2 more livestock. Meanwhile, all this grain was filling up and could have been being hauled. Alright, I'm still going to sell those other 2 trucks off. Much as I hate to. Decisions. Yeah, go ahead and sell them off. I'm just going to let these 2 run and not slow them down. They should be able to go in here and get all this grain and get it out of here. I feel like I'm making a bad decision by selling that off. Only time will tell, though. Only time will tell. But as short of a distance in it is, these 2 really ought to be able to keep up with the load. 4 was a little ambitious, probably. Yeah, the problem here is the livestock. If he comes in here and he picks up 1 livestock, which that's... The problem is that's the mission, is to move the livestock. It's constantly wanting you to go in here and get the livestock first. Let's see if he picks up grain or livestock. He did pick up grain. That's good. So he got a full load of grain, and he'll move out. Yeah, these 2 trucks should be able to keep up with this load. Why he hasn't driven on off does... He waits too long. Alright, well, anyways. Alright, he's moving. These trucks are on their way down here to be sold. Are they here yet? Where did they go? I depoted them. They should have come down here. I didn't see them. Did they go to this depot? Oh, they're going to this depot for some reason. Alright, well at this point, let's see. That hasn't made any production yet. Or these guys have stone on them. They have stone on them. Alright, well this will work out then. Because here's what we'll do. We'll take this depot. And this is trucks 12 and 13, right? Nope, it's 5 and 7. Arrgh. Boy, I just made mistakes all around. Alright, so we'll go ahead and set these on the Indy constructions. Those 2 will go out and do their thing. And these 2 will just get sold once they get in. And that is going to do it for today. Anyways, I make a few mistakes here and there. I'll get better at it. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. We're just getting started. So much more to do. The game plan is to bring this route into Indianapolis so that we get freight to Indianapolis. We'll branch another line of freight into Detroit so that we're hauling food all the way through there. We can build a freight depot somewhere right in here where we can put fuel and construction materials onto the freight depot here. And what we should be able to do is catch it coming this way, run freight, pick it up, take it into Detroit, then turn right around and haul it right back into Chicago. Or we can just run all the way out, stop on our way back in, pick it up, and then take it to Chicago, and we can truck all the rest of this stuff into Detroit, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing, is truck this line into Detroit. But it seems like if I've got a freight line going into Detroit with food, I ought to be able to just stop right here, pick up some more, and take it on in. But it might be more profitable if I truck it into there. The distances aren't nearly as bad in this as they were in Train Fever. So, All right, those trucks should be here. They are. Let's go ahead and sell each of these. Get our money back on those. And our train is coming back into the station down here. See how much he made on that load. And 500K. Not nearly as much as he got the last time, but still pretty good. And this guy over here is filling up with grain. Not many livestock, though. All right. So now things are starting to fill up over here. They got a full load of livestock, almost a full load of grain. These two should stay in constant motion now with full loads. Yep, that's fully loaded. If we start to build a surplus up, then I'll add another truck in, which is the way I should have done it. I should only put 2 trucks on here to begin with, and then if it built up a surplus, I should have added another truck in. But I honestly thought that it would, I thought it would generate a lot more than it did. And it probably will once I get a second city put on the line. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like it. Share it with your friends, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. I do try to do new videos each day. And thanks again to everybody for all your support. We reached 22,000 subs last night, and which is an unbelievable milestone. I never expected this channel to do what it has done, and I do appreciate it. Appreciate everybody sticking with me and hanging out and enjoying the content. And we'll have a little giveaway or something this week in commemoration of the 22,000 threshold, and we'll work towards 23,000. See how that goes. But thanks again, guys. Appreciate it so much. You rock. You guys rock so hard, and I appreciate everybody who is a regular, that's always in the streams and always watching the videos and commenting. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it so very much. Until the next time, y'all stay safe. Have a great day. God bless, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.